My childhood was an absolute crap show that I'm still dealing with the ramifications of today. My parents divorced when I was barely 2 years old. My father was very abusive and was in and out of jail and homelessness my whole life. When I was 6, my mom, who was a once-month weekends parent, she never showed up to the custody hearings, so the judge gave custody to my abusive dad. Decided she couldn't be a mother anymore, married another man, moved states, and had another child that she loved enough to raise. I only saw my bio mother about 5 times in my entire childhood. I was raised by my abusive father and my grandma until he outed when I was 17. My mom didn't want to go to the courts to get custody, and neither did my grandma since I was a senior in high school, so CPS decided to just let me keep living with my grandma until I graduated. So, I became a legal orphan. I was able to go to college for free due to being an orphan and being in poverty. I eventually joined the military, moved out of my crap hole state, got married, and have been living a great life ever since. I went about 7 years without speaking with my bio mom on the phone or in person. Randomly, about 2 years ago, when I went back to my home state to visit my dad's side of the family, I hadn't seen them in over 3 years. I avoid going home often because everyone but me is either addictive or living in poverty, so they're always harassing my husband and me for money, favors, etc., while also yelling at me for having the audacity to fight my way out of poverty and make a life for myself. She called me and had apparently moved back to my home state with my half-sister several years ago, and I had no idea. She begged me to meet her in person, where she then spent 2 hours sobbing about how sorry she was for abandoning me to my abusive father and how she regrets it every day. I tentatively agreed to forgive her and slowly build a relationship. She was happy with her at first, but is now upset that I treat her now as some distant aunt instead of having a mother-daughter relationship. To be honest, we will never have a mother-daughter relationship. If she wanted one, she should have raised me. Anyway, my half-sister also decided to reach out to me and create a relationship. We talk all the time and have become close. The last time I went home to visit, we went out to eat, and she asked me what the plan was for mom once she gets too old to take care of herself. I said whatever she decides to do, I'll emotionally support her for her decision. She asked what I meant, and I said I have zero plans to financially or physically help my mother in any way. She didn't raise me. She doesn't get the joy of having her oldest daughter take care of her in her old age. My half-sister was very upset with me and ran and told my mom, who then decided to start blowing up my phone, saying that she apologized and is trying, but that doesn't mean that I can abandon her in her time of need. I just laughed and hung up the phone. My husband hates her and only puts up with her at all because of me. I don't know where this audacity is coming from. I don't know her and she doesn't know me, but because I have more money and no kids, she thinks I should be the one to house and help her. Nope. It is not happening. Why do you think your mom suddenly apologized and tried to have a relationship with you? She knows your half-sister won't be able to take care of her financially. She didn't care for you when you were a child, she doesn't care for you now. I can't believe she actually thinks an apology will make up for everything you've been through. She wasn't a mother to you when you need her, so she can't expect to be treated like one now. Karma is biting her now. She thought she could try and play nice just to get her grubby hands on someone who would support her financially. She's still the same idiot who abandoned you with an abusive pose. With your sister it's hard. She's a flying monkey for your mother simply because it's too hard to support her mother on her own, especially if her mother is demanding unaffordable things. You're probably going to need to cut her off too. Ask your half-sister if you apologize to your mother on her deathbed for not taking care of her in her golden years. Does that make it better? No. Just like her apologizing doesn't change the fact that she abandoned a helpless innocent 6-year-old. She has had a lifetime to prepare a plan. It's more than she ever gave you. On the weekend immediately after July 4th, I hosted a family BBQ. My slightly older cousin in her mid-30s had told me that she was not coming a week in advance. Then about 2 hours before the event, she changes her mind and tells me she will be coming with her husband and her 1.5F baby. This wasn't a problem because we bought enough food for there to be lots of leftovers. While we were there, my husband and I were slaving away in front of 3 BBQs in the yard to cook for a group of 24 people, 1 baby. We didn't have time to take a break or go inside with everyone else. They were inside because it was raining. During this time, my cousin or her husband constantly came over to complain about our food. They were the only ones who complained the food was too salty. Everyone else who came over to speak with us loved and devoured the food. After the Wagyu tomahawks were served, my cousin came over again. This time her face was red and she was livid. It was red from anger and not drinking. She's a non-drinker. She started complaining that we should have known better, that her baby couldn't eat such salty foods. And that we should have made separate food for them unseasoned. I told her that there was no way we could have done that. We already bought all the food we needed beforehand. Everything was seasoned or dry brined ahead of time. I suggested giving her a big bowl of water so she could try washing off any seasoning before feeding her baby, but she said that wasn't good enough. That's when her husband showed up and suggested that I go to the butcher and buy another tomahawk and come back. That way their daughter could also have some unseasoned. My husband said no. We weren't wasting time, gas, and money on a 1.5-year-old. Even if we did, she obviously would not have been able to finish an entire steak. I just don't understand what changed. She was never like this before she had her kid. Now she expects the world to revolve around her kid. Is this something that involuntarily happens to a large percentage of new parents? I would have told her it was rude to change an RSVP to yes less than 2 hours before the event. I don't think you should ever expect someone to cook a separate meal for your child. It's up to the parents to accommodate the child. Cousin, you said you couldn't come to the BBQ, so we planned accordingly. You changed your mind and rudely only gave us 2 hours notice that you would be here. Everything was already prepped and seasoned. You should have planned accordingly and brought something for your child to eat. Surely there are enough side dishes here that your child can eat. I suggest you get off your high horse and find something suitable. If the food is that bad, you can always go home and cook your own food. Seem like a steak would not be the best for a 1.5-year-old anyways. Those parents are nuts. Her lack of planning is not your problem. I went to go see the new Mario movie as I was really hyped for it, as I am a pretty big Mario fan. It was pretty good in my opinion, and to celebrate, I decided to go dressed as Mario. It wasn't a really good cosplay, as I just threw on some old blue overalls, a red long-sleeved shirt, a replica of Mario's hat I bought at the Nintendo store in Nick, and some work gloves. I even brought a plush super mushroom that my late aunt bought for me in China. Anyways, I got to the theater, paid for my ticket, and got my snacks, a large bag of popcorn, some candy bars, and a blue raspberry slushie. However, the movie didn't start until 1.5 hours, so I just hung out in the small arcade they had there. While I was there was also a little boy with his mom, and he kept eyeing me and got all excited. Keeping with the Mario theme, let's call the mom Bosette and the kid Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. Mommy, look, it's Mario. Bosette. Yes, I know. Bowser Jr. Can I see him? Bosette? Fine. So Bowser Jr. runs up to Mario, and that is when he sees my mushroom. Bowser Jr. Wow, a mushroom, can I have it? Me? Sorry, this mushroom means a lot to me. Bowser Jr. But you don't need it. Me. Yes, I do. Bosette sees Bowser Jr. arguing with me and stomps on over there. Bosette. Give him the toy. Me. Sorry, I can't just give it to him, as it means a lot to me. Bosette. Just give him the toy. Me. Sorry, can't you? Bosette. But you don't need it, you're too old for it. After she said that, I just ignored them, grabbed my snacks, and went to sit in the auditorium where the movie was playing. Shortly later they walked in and sat on the row in front of mine, and throughout the movie, Bosette kept giving me the evil eye, but I just ignored her. I guess they forgot about me because when the movie finished, they walked out of the room without looking at me, and after that, I never saw them again. I guess they forgot about me because when the movie finished, they walked out of the room without looking at me, and after that, I never saw them again. Still enjoyed the movie, and if you're wondering about the mushroom, it's chilling right next to me on my bed. I have a feeling this kid has tried to get toys from adults before. With his mom encouraging him. People are so damn weird. Like, who goes up to a stranger and demands them give their kid something that wasn't ever offered to them in the first place? You don't need to give them a reason, no is a full sentence. The farthest I'd go is no, it's mine and I've already told you no once before. Now kindly go out. Using curse words in front of a kid usually has these parents scrambling away. On a side note, and only because these people exist, Make sure you take a selfie with your plushie before you leave your house when taking anything like that out in public, in case someone that wants your stuff tries to convince others or security that you took it from their kid. It's a crap world we live in these days.